he says, all of you clothe yourselves with humility toward one another. So again, those who are submitting to authority and those who are in positions of authority should always work in humility toward one another. Should always take on an air of humility and utilize humbleness. I know humility has been the key to all of my great successes.
Well done. Well done.
But then it gets us to that verse again, which is Proverbs 3:34. God opposes the proud and gives grace to the humble. So if you try to work and do things as unto the Lord, you're doing them in humility, and God is going to bless that because he's blessing his purposes. When you try to do them for your own purposes, he is going to be in opposition because you are not doing what he's doing. You are doing something else. And here's the thing that I will tell everyone: never be in opposition of God.
Bad idea.
It's a bad idea.
Never worked out.
It's going to be a bad time.
Okay. And I think that, a lot of times people kind of sometimes, and I was really guilty of this early on in my life, was not understanding the true definition of humility. Humility is not putting yourself down,
right.
thinking lower of yourself. Oh, I'm no good. That's not humility. That's putting yourself down, which is
self-deprecation.
Which is not a good idea. Humility is putting others before you, is knowing that you don't know the answer to everything. You may not be the smartest person in the room. But humbling yourselves before God is putting him before you and knowing that he is greater than you. You know. And it also comes down to service too. I mean, one of the, if you go backwards, if we go back to when he's talking about not pursuing dishonest gain, but eager to serve. As an elder, my job is to serve. At the end of the day, serving, whether it be somebody new or somebody who is been here for 20 years, serving them so that they can serve the kingdom however God has created them to do, and helping put those people in places so that they can serve God. Finding people, somebody, there's oftentimes people will be in a place of, they might be in a ministry, they might be leading ministry that they're not really doing real well at. And so, sometimes we have to say, all right, we want to change some things up, not because you're bad at this or you messed up or anything like that, but because we think you'd be better off here because this is where God's gifted you. You talk about, you've told us like, oh, this is your passion. This is the
right.
Are you doing this because you have to and because the position is open, or because you're passionate and you love it? It's like, well, and most of the time it's, well, I really want to be doing this, or this is really my passion. All right, then let's do that and find somebody else to do this.
Right.
Well,
you know what, though, I think we get back to that conversation about elders being domineering and like putting people in a box.
Right.
Oftentimes, churches are in such need of volunteers that they will, unfortunately, be a little manipulative and asking for those volunteers and talking about, well, you need to you need to be volunteering anywhere. You need to be doing something. And so people will feel like a sense of, not condemnation, but like a they'll start questioning themselves, like, am I doing enough?
Right.
Well, I need to do this. I need to volunteer for this. And then it turns out they're doing something that they really probably shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
But they're doing it because it's needed. Now, look, there's something noble about volunteering when there's a need.
Yeah.
Doing something like that. But don't make a long-term commitment to a ministry.
For sure.
If that is not what you're equipped to do.
Sure.
And I know I've experienced this personally, and I don't know that it's like, I use words like manipulation and stuff. I don't think people always know that that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they think that they're doing what's right, and I think maybe they're doing that. But I remember when I got out of Bible college, I had someone, a minister tell me very point blank, "You're a youth pastor. You need to be, pastoring youth."
Yeah.
Well, as it just so happened, their church needed a youth pastor.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember being very much like, I'm not a youth pastor though. I'm a minister, and I will minister to youth because I minister to anyone.
Yeah.
But don't put don't put this like label on me that you're called to youth ministry.
Yeah.
that's another podcast for another time.
Right, yeah.
But the point is, we who, if we are in a ministry, we should not be trying to conform somebody to fill a need that we think needs to be filled.
Right.
We need to trust God to bring the right person for those positions.
Yeah.
And then we need to not try to fill a position ourselves and say, well, there's a need there, so I'm going to go do that, even though I'm a square trying to fit in that circle.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
anyway, but to your point, this all comes back to humility, being able to say, I'm the wrong person for this.
Yep.
Or even being able to say, I'm the right person for this can be said in humility.
Yeah.
So those are things that we need to be considering as we serve the church.
Yep, for sure.